Alright, what's up, Wolfpack? We got another video. Starting off with bicep curls. Low-key, I'm just gonna rip out this warm-up set. As per usual, we got 22.5 pounds on the cable. Go for every money I feel like, and then we'll go in the first failure set. Okay, that should be good for now. Move it up. Go. Alright, now we got 57.5 pounds. I'll be real. Don't got much to talk outside of just my average life, because today's been a little rocky in terms of the news, I guess. If you watched the last video, which honestly did better than I thought it would do, but if you watched the last video, I kind of edited it off saying that had a couple tests, this. I'm not sure how in depth I got into how busy my week is, my week is this week. But I think this is the busiest week I've had in all of college, and this is, I've only been here for like half a semester, or a semester plus another half. But like my finals week for my first semester wasn't even as bad as it is right now. So I low-key got to manage my time really well. But as I was finishing my first class of the day, I got an email from my college saying that I owe another $3,000. So I'm officially in the negatives in terms of money. Doesn't feel great. I've been richer my entire life compared to now. When I was first born, I was had a higher net worth than I do currently. Don't feel great about that. Doesn't feel great. But it's fine. It's fine. At the end of the day, I'm trying to keep a positive mindset. This wasn't a too big of an issue. Like, I'm not happy about it. I want to make that very clear. I think, the fact that I'm in the negatives is rough. I really am not a big fan of it. But, I think, if anything, this is more like a learning experience. I think I could have spent, if I didn't have this bill come up, I would have never applied to the jobs that I applied to today. So still a positive at the end of the day. It's not like I spent the day just doing nothing. No, I'm trying to at least do something to get past it. So really the biggest issue I have now is just trying to manage everything. Probably my biggest worry is just being able to do this, work a job, and do school all at the same time. I don't know how easy it is going to be to manage that. Also get proper sleep and nutrition. So I really do got to do some sitting down, really think through my day-to-day life. Luckily, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I'm sorry. Let me switch the song real quick. I'm not really trying to listen to what I'm listening to right now. Okay, but luckily, I have spring break coming up this Friday, so you guys will get to see the home gym again, and I'll get to not have to worry too much about school, but rather worry about working my job that I do have. Because if you don't know, I'm technically not unemployed. I still have the job I had prior to doing this. But I just really didn't really work much during winter break, which is when I started recording. And obviously I can't work right now because I'm a little far away from the job. I'm not going to do a 2-hour commute back and forth. Like I don't think any reasonable person's willing to do that. So, gonna have to go in on Friday, see if I can take as many shifts as possible, because I got money to pay, and I don't have a whole lot of money to give right now. Anyways, I'm gonna get this first set out of the way. What did I have on? 57.5 pounds on the cable. As per usual, if we get more than 10 or more, I'll go up and wait. If not, we will stick with this for the last set, and we'll go from there.
Nobody gonna shuffle around a bunch. And I click my heels together a couple times. And then I usually end up in my spot.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just showing plug your eyes on like you're seeing demons.
I know, I'm like, am I doing this wrong?
Put that down. We're going heavy. That's too easy. We're going right here.
Okay, we're heading off that. AirPod was falling on. I had to fight for that. I really think, although I didn't go to true failure, I guess, where I didn't fail the next rep, I'm pretty sure I got the failure there. I don't think I could have done another one. So, positive, in my opinion. I'm out of breath. Back to how my day's been. No, I really don't want to have this be like a super negative video, but today has been a very big negative in terms of that quality of life. Recently also ran out of bottled water, so I gotta stick with the tap water here, hoping it's not too bad, but water intake has not been the best today. I've been pretty dehydrated throughout most of the day. Luckily, we do got a little bit of water. So, I'm still not like killing myself right now, but water intake's a lot lower than it's been normally. Not great. Water is important for your recovery. So don't do what I'm doing if you can avoid it. As of right now, I don't really have a good way to get off campus, and I also have no money. So I'm really gonna, I really do gotta, figure out what to do. This mainly the tuition thing has been the worst part of the day today. Like I couldn't focus in the rest of my classes. I mean, I only showed up to one other out of the 3 I have today. But I couldn't even focus because I was too worried about getting this tuition stuff, figured out. So, if you haven't figured out by now, that tuition stuff's been very much on my mind. I talked with my mom about it. She has a good idea, I think. Hopefully. I've told her kind of my game plan. But this has probably been the biggest eye-opener out of all the times I've had to pay. So, you know, like I said, very much a positive thing. You know, I am gonna lock in. Obviously, I'm gonna work this spring break, and then honestly, the goal is to go for my license for next year. And I don't know how practical this is. I haven't thought too much about this, but I'm hoping to get biggest beater car you could think of, like some 2002 Toyota Camry, and just run it down. You know, I might need to learn stick, but that's okay. You know, at the end of the day, I need a way to get off campus, and I really don't want to be paying for a bus pass here or whatever. I'd much rather pay for gas. So that's the hope. You know, hopefully I can find some beater car and, you know, just run that through. You know, really, I really do gotta lock down my finances. You know, I was talking with a friend earlier today about, you know, the summer I'm gonna have, and, you know, this entire year, I've been looking forward to golf. You know, I've if you guys have at least listened, you guys know I'm a big fan of golfing. Love golfing. Me and my friends obviously did it a lot last year, and I haven't golfed since last August. So, you know, long time since I golfed. I've been kind of waiting for it. Me and my friends were considering getting memberships at our main golf course we go to, but looking at things now, I don't really think that's gonna be possible for me. I don't even know how many golf games I'm gonna have to do. It does not feel great at all. So I low-key was like mid-thought, and then I had a thought come in that I need to up the weight because I did do 10. So I low-key canceled out my thought right there, but let me come back. You know, biggest piece of advice from a broke guy right now is get your finances straight. You know, if you got a spending problem, fix that. Yeah. You know, I think I had a really big spending problem. Junior and senior year of high school, you know, I was spending a lot of money on Uber Eats, a lot of money on DoorDash. Really didn't help. Didn't save a whole lot. And I don't think I really started saving like well up until my 18th birthday, because then I could start investing. I think the fact that I was able to invest my money really made me a lot more conscious on my spending habits. So, you know, my biggest piece of advice, don't know how great of advice it is, but it did work for me, is to imagine, you know, investing into your future self. You know, at the end of the day, a lot of the times when I was doing my investments, I wasn't really considering the short-term gains. I was really considering like gains 15 years from when I invested. So, you know, what the average growth rate in the stock market's like 8%, 8 to 10. So, you know, I really spent the time calculating what I think I would be 15 years from now if I put in this amount of money every paycheck. And I'll be real, I couldn't tell you the calculation right now. You know, it's been a very long time since I've actually done that, considering it's been a very long time since I've gotten a paycheck. But I really do suggest trying to make it, you know, seem like you're bettering yourself rather than, you know, telling yourself, oh, I'm just putting away money. I think back when I was really struggling with a spending problem, which is before I turned 18, you know, I had no thought of my future finances. And I think that's why I really am not in a good position right now. I think if I had the same mentality I had when I turned 18 from when I first got my first ever job at 15, I think I'd be in a very good position. Well, I shouldn't say very good. I'm still was only making minimum wage, but I would be in a position where I could probably pay this off with either the amount of money I had prior to this current bill that I just got, or even more than I had than prior to this bill. So, you know, food for thought right there. Not really 100%, you know, I'm not going to say it's 100% practical and it'll definitely fix your problems. But I think it did help me at least a little bit, you know, looking back on how I invested. Wow, I think I spent a long time on the set here. Anyways, I'm gonna rip out this last one. We did up the weight to 62.5 pounds. And we'll see how many we do. If we do more than 10, we'll go up next video, and we'll go from there. All right.
2 more.
Man, every time I fail that last rep, forearms just feel like shit. Anyways, that's the end of this first set. I'll turn back on the camera when I got another one ready. I'll see you guys then. All right, what's up, Wolfpack? We're right back to the arm workout. It's the only thing that's open right now for me. It's not looking good, but it's okay. You know, positive mindset. I'm gonna get this warm-up set out of the way. 37.5 pounds on the cable. Go for how many I feel like, and then we'll go from there. All right. Wait, hold on. My arm placement's a little off. Or hand.
Like, you don't fix it. It doesn't have, like, your body mass doesn't have to, like, increase. You don't have to, like, your weight also, like, doesn't have to increase.
Oof, all right. Okay. We'll switch it to 72.5 for now. Whew. I got one homie trying to cheer me up right now. So, Philippe, I don't know how often you watch these, considering you're usually hating on me most of the time for these videos. But, you know, thank you for trying. You know, he's, mainly what he's been doing is just reciting my day. So, you know, maybe not really words of encouragement, but rather like keeps my mind straight on the issues I got right now. But I'm gonna be real, this is probably, you know, one of the worst Mondays I've had that I could think of in most recent years. I don't think I've ever had this many negative things happen in a single day. But it's okay, you know? Oh, I never even went over some of the other stuff. So, fun fact, my Brita filter actually had a bunch of mold in it, which I was gonna use for you know, compensation of not having my water bottles anymore. So last night I got it all filled up because that's when I ran out. And I filled up a water bottle, took a swig, and it tasted like pure, like almost pure chlorine. It was not a a taste I really wanted out of my water. Didn't taste great. Started asking. I asked ChatGPT, "Hey, should my should my water taste like chlorine?" And it was like, "You might got mold in there." And I was like, all right. And keep in mind, the time I did this was like 11 p.m. My roommate obviously is trying to sleep, so I'm not going to turn on the light, see if there's mold and shit. I was like, all right, I'll just wait till tomorrow. So that happens. Didn't really get the best sleep, mainly because my roommate, although I said he was trying to sleep, turns out he wasn't trying to sleep at the time. I think he got up at like 11:30, 11:45, just pulled an all-nighter. I woke up, or I went to bed around like 12ish, woke up probably 5:36, and I just see him doom scrolling. Now, I was like, I don't know why, why he'd do all that. Maybe he actually didn't. Maybe he just woke up earlier than me. But usually he's never that up, or that he's never up that early. And he also went to sleep at like 3 today. So I don't think he slept last night. Couldn't tell you why he pulled an all-nighter, because I'll be real, it didn't look like he was studying. So I'll never know. I'm not really worried about it too much, but worst thing out of that was that I just didn't get the proper sleep that I normally like to get. Sleep's a important part of recovery. Fun fact, in case you never knew. But yeah, not great. I low-key went on a tangent right there, but yeah, Brita water filter had mold in it, which is why I'm now stuck to the tap water at my dorm. What else? Obviously the bill. Took my midterm. Now, I think I talked about this earlier, but I don't think I went super in depth. I did take my midterm. One of the worst grades I've ever gotten. I did pass, don't worry. I got a 67 on it. No joke. But really bad grade, considering it was an open book test. Open book midterm. Wasn't super happy about it. So that wasn't a great feeling. And then afterwards, I went to get my dining hall food. And food was awful. I had 2 cookies and 3 slices of pizza. As the high, most optimal nutrition person in the world, me, ate their food. The cookies were the worst things I've ever tasted. They tasted like ash. And the pizza was stuck to each other, making it really hard to get a slice. I think one of the slices I grabbed, half of it was stuck to the other pizza. So I really only had 2.5 slices rather than 3. But it's okay. Like I've been trying to say, you gotta keep a positive mindset going. Because something I've recently found out is that if you keep a positive mindset, your motor units, you have a higher motor unit recruitment, which allows you to lift a little more. So just saying, positive mindset, means more gains. Found that out. Pretty awesome in my opinion. I thought that was pretty cool. Anyways, I'm low-key going on a rant right now. So I'm gonna go in the first failure set. Got 72.5 pounds on the cable. If we get more than 10, we'll go up and wait. If not, we'll stick with this for the last set, and we'll go from there. I think I maybe could have done 1 or 2 more. I'll be real, my elbow's killing me right now. Got elbow pain. I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe I'm pushing myself too hard now. But it's, you know what? This is for the experiment. Gotta, no pain, no gain. So I'll worry about it once I'm done with this, which I really can't wait to get this little experiment over with. I'm really trying to keep the exercises and workout split relatively similar, as there's a lot of muscles I don't hit normally that I feel like, let's say I were to switch to the split that I have, maybe I'll throw it up on the camera, I don't know yet, but yeah, honestly I probably will throw it up so you guys could see it, but I'm really trying to make sure I at least get 2 exercises per every muscle group. I'm really, like, instead of doing my full body, I'm switching to a 4-day upper lower. Feel like it might be a little better. And, I really do want to switch to that, like I said. But got to keep the variables somewhat similar for this experiment, even though it's a one-person study. I think it's more valuable if I just hold it out and finish the full month rather than, do it. I low-key just lost my train of thought. Hold on. I want to keep the results the same instead of switch, just so I can get the most pure results that I can, rather than, blame it on, it's because I changed my workout split. I'd rather it be, it's because I started pushing myself a little harder. And I think if I were to change the exercises / the workout split, I could kind of attribute a good chunk of the strength gains that I'm making to the new workout split. Hopefully that made sense. I don't know how great that was. Also, in case I didn't say it earlier, I did not do 10 there. I think I did like 5. But yeah, so we're keeping weight the same. Going back to the split thing though, when I do switch to that, I am going to switch my upload schedule to just those 4 days instead of the 5 that I do currently, which, I haven't been the most consistent with the 5 days. But it will be those 4 days unless I'm willing to record the 1 hour of cardio. Maybe I'll do a little Q&A every once in a while. I don't know. But as of right now, I feel like I'll probably just do a 4-day upload. So, if you're mad about that, too bad. Sorry, I already got to worry about, managing a job, or well, eventually I'm gonna have to worry about managing a job, this plus school. So I really feel like I've been going on rants a lot today, man. Hopefully you're understanding. Also, one more thing before I record this last set here, because I'm just gonna go straight into this. I know I've been talking a lot about the negativity of today, but I do actually have some slightly good news for today. It's still about my day in terms of how it's been, but started this lift today. I was not in the greatest mood, like I said. I was, really worried about my tuition, really worried about how I'm gonna deal with this, considering I don't have the money to pay for it. But I don't really know like, here's the thing. There's some people who know this, a lot of personal people, but I don't know if the average YouTube audience knows this, but I really, one thing I switched from high school to now is I really try to lock in on like finding, I really try to lock in on who I'd consider a friend and who I wouldn't. Because the biggest thing out here every time outside of, or like one thing that would happen after high school is that a lot of the friends that I had in high school probably won't be my friend. And I was like, okay. So I really, sat down and thought, who are my close friends and what makes them a close friend? So I made a set list of criteria. And as of right now, I have no one that fits in that criteria here. But there's someone, like, I guess an acquaintance is the best way to put it. But I feel like an acquaintance is a little bit of an understatement for them. Because but I have a class with them. Don't usually expect to say too much to them. But I would say we gotten closer over the last couple semesters. And as I was mid-workout, I was doing bench. But just randomly came up, dapped me up. He's like, "What's up? How you been?" And I think that like little human connection, that the idea that someone else is here with me, that I can at least I at least know them somewhat. It was really, really, really great. It really brightened my mood for the day. Even though I wouldn't say I'm in the best mood in the world. I think there's been a lot better days in terms of my mood. But it really did brighten my mood. Oh, nah. But yeah, really brightened my mood. And, one thing I'd recommend, if someone comes into your mind, say what's up. Now, I'll be real. That advice, don't think I'm the greatest at following it. But, considering my experience where I'd say it was relatively positive, from a guy who I don't talk to often, but I do see here a lot, I was actually pretty happy. So, like I'm trying to say, if you have someone in your mind that you haven't talked to in a little bit or want to talk to, just talk to them. Worst thing that happens is they don't respond. So, is that really a big deal? I think that's more up to you than me. Because for me, I'll be real, it is a little bit of a big deal. I'm a little scared of that, but I think for most people it'd be fine. I think I'm a little special case where I'm kind of antisocial in a sense. But I also went on a rant again. So I'm going to finish this last set out. Still 72.5 pounds on the cable. I'll be shocked if I hit 10. But if I do hit 10, we'll go up and weight next time. And we'll go from there. All right. Okay, we're ending it there. I'm gonna be real, not really in the mood to record too much longer, so I'm gonna end it all here as well on the video. Hopefully you like the video, like and subscribe. If you want to follow me on other stuff, I got a link tree for my other links. Give me some ideas for stuff you'd want me to talk about. Do your laundry, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.